Hi guys, got a device in for you here today. It's a Samsung P610. This is a S6 Lite. That's what the short form for it is. Now this device does not go above 10%. To be honest, to get to 9% took an age. So I want to check. I've checked on an amp meter, like the one I use here, and it's pulling in a decent amount of power. It should work. So what we're going to do now, we're going to check if the port has got a problem or the battery. Now what you can do with these devices, you can actually test the battery health. Whether it's accurate or not, I don't know. But you can connect the device to Wi-Fi and you can check the battery health via the settings, and it connects to the internet and does it all for you. It tests everything on the machine. Now that came back as the battery health is normal, it is good. So I don't see the issue with the battery as yet, although whether that test is accurate, I'm not entirely sure. So what I'm going to do today is remove the glass, the screen actually. Now I've got a heat mat. You may not have a heat mat, but I have. So I've preheated it to about 80 degrees, and I'm going to leave it on there for about 7 or 8 minutes, and we're going to remove the glass, and then we're going to check to see if the charging port is good, if there's any broken tracks on the USB ports on the port. If that is the case, then we'll have to possibly do some solder work or order a new one. And if that is good, then I would suspect the battery has an issue. The device is about 3 or 4 years old, is what I've been told. So let's see what happens. So we'll check back in a few minutes, and well, for you it'll be seconds literally. So I'll just leave this on for a while, and then we'll continue the video. Right, that should be nice and warm now. It's nice and cooking. So what we're going to do now is remove the glass or the LCD. Now, I've got a little tool here, which I know it's metal. You're going to show it on the screen, but it's very, very thin. So I'm just going to get inside there, put a bit of alcohol on the end, and then I'm going to use these plastic ones that I've got. Plastic cards I've had for years. We used to buy screen protectors off this company, but they no longer do them. So I'm just going to slowly prise out the screen. I don't want to pull it off. You can pull it off with some suckers, possibly, but I prefer to do it this way. Now the scary thing is actually to, I don't know if you can see that, to be fair, but yeah, okay. I would recommend that you switch the device on as you're working on it, because that way you can see if you're distorting the screen in any way. Obviously it's going to be very hot to work on at the moment, extremely hot in fact. I think we need to possibly heat it up a bit more, but we'll give it a go. And be careful not to go in too hard, because you want to just literally go in a couple of mil, otherwise you'll damage one of the flexes. Plenty of alcohol is a must for this job. Let me tell you now, it will be your saviour when it comes to doing these repairs. More alcohol. That breaks down the bonding. It's cooling down pretty quickly, so I may have to see if we can pull this off, pull the glass off with got this sucker puller thing. Let's try that as well. Notice I did put it back on to my heat pad that I've got here. So I've got this here, I'm just going to go around putting some alcohol around it, around the frame. Well, that's probably going to evaporate anyway. Let's not bother doing that. Let's pull. You can see we're pulling the screen away. Putting some alcohol down the end. You can see that's pulling away quite nicely. Careful not to bend it. Putting alcohol down here as well at the top. Keep it on. Okay, so that's one side out. You can see the amount of tape they've used here. It's horrible stuff. It really is. I'm just going to pull that tape out actually. It's annoying me. Okay, so that's one side. It's almost out. I just want to make sure that there's no flexes anywhere here. Let's just get this tape out. That will make things a lot easier for us. And as you can see, we can actually lift the screen off. Sometimes I've prized these out, but today I thought let me give this technique a go. I like to try different techniques. Although it could be an expensive mistake because it's not a cheap screen, but people do know risks are involved when taking these apart. Okay, now if you look in there very carefully, you can see that the flex. Where's my little pointing tool? Okay, I'll use a screwdriver for now. If you look just there, there's a flex is just there, so we were miles away from it. So be careful. We're not finished yet. I would still going to put it on there on the heat just for a minute. I'm going to put that there so it doesn't close up, and put some heat on this side here because I want to put some more alcohol down there, and so right now it's at an angle, so I've put something in which I can get my fingers inside the device between the screen and the board. So that side's heating up now. I'm going to have to put some new bonding on when we do it, or some tester tape, but I prefer to use some bonding on these devices. Okay, feeding the heat there, that's coming through nicely. Now we should just be able to let's have a look where we are. Prise it out. We can just get some alcohol now. We don't need to use the puller. We can just. Can you hear that, Iris? You can use it on this section if you want to. This particular video now, it's 2-in-1, how to remove and replace the screen. So dead easy. And as you can see, it's still running. It's still on, so there's no damage been done. Okay, that's just the flex moving a little bit now. Let's have a look. Have we damaged something? That's just, air is just really hot. When it cools down, it'll be fine. Let's put this one. There you go. So the screen has now been removed. Okay. And the reason why it's going to low is because the battery is going down rapidly. So let's just take the flex off now. Let me switch the device. Okay, can you see that now? The screen was a bit dark, now it's perfect. So let's remove the flex cable. Let me get my little pudger tool. Slowly take that off, keep it to one side, lift off the door, pull the flex off, and make sure you put the screen in a nice place. So that just showed you how to remove the screen. Okay, so we have a number of screws here. You can see them, there's quite a few, and we need to get access to the board area here. Now we're not going to get access until we take the whole thing out. I can't see, I've opened one of these before, but I can't see if that plate, if there's a plate here that's separate or there isn't. But what I'm going to do is, while I'm doing this, I'm going to take a picture as I'm recording, so I know that the black screws, which are there and there, will go back into the same position. Or I could actually get a pen and write down on this plate where the screws go. So I've got one pen. So if I put B for the black screw, anywhere else, I can see 1, 2, and 3 black screws. So yeah, you won't forget where those go back in now. Get a container if you want to, just to put the screws in to one place so you don't lose the screws. Got a magnet on here, so it's easier to remove the screws. Last one standing. There you go. Can't see any other ones that are missing. Let's try and pop this plate off. There's one more there, which is just about to lose. It's not coming out so easily. Make sure, turn it over, flip it over, and all the screws fall out. Right, now, does that look like liquid damage? So there's the port. So let's pop off connector. Put some more in there. I've got this cloth. I'm going to try and squeeze this cloth inside there. Just a little bit. I get some tweezers, that could also help us in the cleaning process. Where are we? There you are. Now, as you can see, it looks a little bit cleaner than previously. Do you see that could be creating a bad earth, all that junk down there? I'm just going to slowly go across. And then I'm going to go in with a brush as well. Use the brush from the cleaning kit, which I've got in another video, you can see. How are we looking now? Let's have a look. So what we're going to do now, we put this back. So what we're going to do now, we're going to put it back into the chassis. So this goes to the sub, which is the sub board. If you look on here, it says where the flex goes, so you can't really forget. That goes in there. Should we get it the right way around first of all? And make sure that clicks in nicely, which it does so. And get the LCD. I'm not going to bother with the frame at the moment. I'm going to put that there like so. And we're going to check to see what kind of power it pulls in. Right, so we're going to check now, and I'm going to leave the device on for an hour or two and just see what happens to it. Now it's obviously still charging as it was before, but the true test will come once it's checked after an hour. So it says here 3 hours and 14 minutes till full, which is what it was telling us before. Now let's see how we get on, and we'll check in later. Right guys, just to continue from where we left off yesterday, I had the device on for a number of hours and it wasn't charging as it should have been. Let me just adjust my camera, sorry about this. Okay, maybe you can see that now a bit better. And it wasn't charging as it should have been, so I'll just show you what I did. So if you look at the amp meter that I've got here, you can see that at the moment it's pulling in about 0.4, and it jumps up to 1, then it goes down, then it goes up. So there's definitely an issue with the actual charging circuit. So what I did, I've got a donor machine which I took out the charging port circuit board out from, and I'll show you what happens. So I'm just going to disconnect this for now, lift off the screen, just going to pop off the battery connector, which is just there. I'll leave the LCD one in there. We're not going to disturb it that much anyway. It's not a problem. Just pop off the one that says main, which is for the port. I'm going to pull this off, and I've got another one here, which is the one out of the donor board. It's exactly the same, and we'll connect this and connect that to the board. Pop it in. Let's put the screen there, and now let's connect the. I mean, you can probably see what's going on because you've seen it up to about 38%, but I'm going to show you. So if you look at the circuit now, so the charging symbol has now appeared on the screen. Okay. So since I've put this on this morning, it's been on charge for about 20 minutes, actually about half an hour, and it's come up to a decent charging level. Hold on a minute, have I plugged in the battery connector? No, I haven't. Right, let me just unplug the charger. These are the things that you can sometimes forget to do. I'm wondering why it's not doing that. So battery's in now. Hold down the board there, plug it in, make sure it's in position. It's not, so let me just get it in there properly. Just hold it down, and you can see now that the actual current level, the amp level, is pretty stable. It's 1.2, probably go down a little bit and then go up again. Now, if you look at the charging now, that's gone to 55%. I had it on for hours and hours yesterday, and it wouldn't go above 11%. Go to 12, come down. Go to 12, come down. And yeah, so we've got 55% charge out of it now. And so that's the issue with this board, with this device. It was the actual charging port. I did, like I said, did the diagnostic tests on the whole device, but the battery one is what I did first, and it did come back with battery health okay. So I was kind of like a bit, is the battery need changing? Is that test reliable? But obviously it has turned out to be, and now if you look at the current now, it's at 1.5. So again, another successful repair. We don't need to put a new battery in the device. And now you can see how I'm going to seal it back up, and yeah, let's get on with it. Right, so the first thing to do is let's just remove the LCD. Disconnect the battery first, remove the LCD, let's get that out of the way, and make sure that you put that in a safe place. Now what we need to do is, I want to get rid of any old, to be honest, the old glue can stay on there because yeah, sorry, let's just start again. We're going to get rid of the old glue. Put a little bit of alcohol just to give it a final clean around the edges. And use a cloth just to go around. Go. Bit of junk. Now we can go ahead and put in the frame. So the battery's all down, that's connected up. Yes, we are forgetting one very important thing. The LCD. Okay. Let's see if I can get the bonding off the old screen. If I can just flatten it out, I won't need to take it off, because the old bonding is very strong. If it's got lumps anywhere, just get rid of the lumps, because we can use that again. We just need to put in the glue and then we can just bond this down again, because it was very strong. So you don't need to remove it. There is a bit of a lump just there, which I'm going to get rid of. I don't like that lump just there. Okay, that's fine. I won't be surprised if we can use this all the bonding actually. You don't take anything off and you can use it again. You won't need to put any bonding down, but I'm doing it just in case. So let's put the screen into position now. Make sure, see that one, the SD card popped off. Make sure all the flexes are plugged in, because the last thing you want to do is go around taking it apart again because you forgot to plug something in. So, does anyone know how we took this off? Because I cannot for the life of me remember. Did we take it out from here? It's possible. These are the issues you face when you're doing a repair. These are the things that can happen. So this goes in like so. That's fine. Yeah, that's good now. Hoping to hear a click or some sort, but I haven't got one of those. Right, so now bring all the screws just there. So not one, but one magnetised. Yeah. And we have, there are some places where the black ones do go in. As far as I remember, offhand, I think one goes in. I think one goes in there. Oh no, it doesn't. Oh, I've lost it. I don't know where the black one is gone. Oh, there it is. I'm going to refer back to my photograph that I took, which I mentioned to you yesterday. 1 second. Right, as I mentioned, I forgot that I actually had, I marked it up with the bees, remember? So if you look just here, we did put some marks. We put a bee there. If you can see the reflection, put a bee there, and we put a bee here, so we know where the black screws go. So one goes in there. I'm actually going to go around and put some of this bonding on now. Now the best thing to do is let this glue stick, just let it set for a while, give it a few minutes, and then we'll come back to it and we'll put on the screen down. Right guys, let's continue. So if I just do a test on the bonding, it's quite sticky now. It's not too liquidy. This stuff does dry quick, so don't want to leave it on for too long, otherwise you will be in trouble. So let's put in the flex. Pop that in there. Put the guard. Let's just get the back of it, get a bit of a quick clean, get rid of all our fingerprints that are on there. or whatever we can get off there. Doesn't really matter. Just do a nice clean job. Okay, let's put the screen now down towards the chassis and make sure it goes in all around. You might get a bit of seeping from the glue, which I wouldn't worry too much about at the moment. Okay, so what you can do with that is get a cloth, plenty of alcohol, just wipe along, because you don't want to let it set and then take it off. It's just a bit, you can take it off, it's not a problem, but it's just a bit of a headache, to be honest. And got a bit of seeping just there as well, so just put a bit of okay. We can clean this up afterwards anyway, it's not a big deal. You can do it later. But as you go along, your choice. Okay. Just checking to see how good it's sealed up. That looks pretty good. It is coming a little bit off in one place, so the best thing to do is just get a bit of sticky tape that I've got over here and just stick it down and give it a good pull. And if there's anywhere else you want to do it, just go around. I've got some clamps on order, so I don't need to use tape, which are very, very good. Hopefully that volume button is pressed, so just go around some of the device. That looks good. One round the other side. And let's get the charger plugged in. Wire in. Make sure all is well. I didn't have time, to be honest. On the old port, it could be that the IC there has gone. Have I got time to mess around replacing that? No, I haven't. So the quickest way of doing it is just to replace it. You can see now the actual current is pulling in as 1.2 amps. Good enough. So yeah, job done. I hope you like the repair. Have a great day.